We are here with the winners of not only Best Game, but 4 other awards as well. Jeremy, Best War. You've stormed it. God of War has smashed the BAFTAs. Well done, high five. There you go. Well done. How do you feel?
Overwhelmed and excited.
Yeah?
Very proud of everybody that I'm working with and just happy.
It's really been wonderful to chat to you over the last 2 days and to see what a great team you clearly are and how well you'll work together. Yeah.
Fam and friends.
It's really nice, and clearly it's translated to the end result as well.
Yeah.
And it must have made it more fun to work on.
Yes. It was fun to work on, right, Nate?
We're together a lot, yeah. So it's good we're all friends.
And we had the luxury of just sort of coming in, you know, because we didn't know what was happening behind the scenes, any adversity, any challenges. You assume, but you don't know. And that's one of the things I'll attribute to Cory, is he was so nurturing and such a father figure. He protected this sacred space that we had as actors just to come in and become our characters and have a really good time. And it was like coming home to family every single time.
Which is thematic, given the game and given the themes.
Dysfunctional family.
May I say, too, there's something that Cory has a natural understanding of about actors in particular that I find a rarefied thing. Like, he understands that when you're in front of the camera, if fight or flight gets triggered, your autonomic nervous system goes haywire, your performance goes out the window. So, I mean, because literally your blood pumps away from your heart and your head, which is most important for performance. So he has a way, as Danielle was saying, of just being the most, I mean, he's got this giraffe-sized heart. He's so funny.
I am part giraffe.
Weird that you bring that up now.
I told him he should do stand-up. That's how, I think, gifted he is. Just, anyway, so that.
Amazing. I mean, there's obviously, you know, there's so much emotion within that game. I've had some cries. I'm not going to lie. I mean, how is it, obviously, in that relationship, you know, obviously, Jerry, you won Best Performer. There are some hugely visceral, base, you know, moments. How do you, first of all, how do you get into that space? And how do you I mean, how do you get that out of him? With a stick?
Yeah.
Okay, like, how does it work? Because, I mean, it's harder as well, because, you know, it's a game, you know, you're not kind of standing on a set with, like, everything else there, and you're kind of, like, in that moment. It must be so much harder to pull that emotion and that performance out.
What do you think?
Do you want to go first or second?
Oh, my.
I want to pull the performance out of you right now.
Wow, okay.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I'll say, again, it goes back to Cory's multi-dimensionally brilliant instincts, you know, getting there. You know, it did a lot of good just to, the fact that he, as I was saying earlier, he trusted me and cast me. He thought it was a good idea to cast me as a god with a badass mid-Atlantic dialect. When he saw me, the first time we talked, he said, well, I saw you playing the homicidal, you know, Trumpian redneck on Justified. And
which he was brilliant at.
Well, that's debatable. But it just imbued a real rich sense of trust. And again, when he's on the set, he's just incredibly loving. And it's
amazing.
Very easy for him. So thank you, brother.
I attribute my pain to my ex-husband, so there you go.
Everyone has their methods and tools, as long as you get the job done.
Tell you what, exes will give you that life experience,
And
that's
then
for
working
sure.
with such brilliant actors such
That's
as Jeremy.
second. But I want to ask what you think makes God of War such, we have such enduring appeal, but I feel also this God of War is so markedly different from the games that have come before it, that it's almost like a two-part question, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I think as developers, as people, we were quite ready for a change. We were really, I think, looking for something different. We had been doing something very similar for over a decade and realized we need to try something. We need to get out of our comfort zone. We need to be uncomfortable, and we need to be scared. And then we got scared and realized how scary scared was.
It's a different
and
level.
I wanted to turn the ship around because it was really scary for years. But that was part of the experience. And I think that resonates, that sort of raw emotion that we were all experiencing throughout all of this, how much we were willing to put of ourselves into it. And we're talking everybody on the team, the performers, as well as everybody who's creating content on the game. I mean, you know, You guys put way more of yourselves into this than I think you probably bargained for in the beginning.
Yeah.
Great answer.
You know what else has changed? 10 years ago when we did God of War 2, it was all kill, kill, kill. That was sort of the mindset.
And embed the women.
We were.
Yeah.
And embed the women.
It
Yeah.
was very Conan.
Well, we tried to be historically accurate, I suppose. I don't know. But now we are all older. We have children. And so it just didn't seem like the game to make anymore. You know, it's like you view life differently as you get older and, you know, start a family and all that.
This is very true.
It's almost like, I mean, yeah, like there's that. There's the beautiful emotional moments you have, and then there's like the badass gameplay,
Yeah.
which, you know, you've still managed to make that feel as good and as vicious, but in a good way.
But then
as it
obviously, you
can
know,
be.
having like a son there as well, like it's like a whole different thing. You're
Yeah.
protecting something, not just literally going around for the sake of.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're answering all the questions. Just having a discussion about the game with you here.
Well, there's something that freaked people out in the beginning. I mean, Jason McDonald was the lead system designer on this, doing our lead combat. Vincent Napoli was the lead system designer on this, and you know, Jason was skeptical in the beginning of like, I don't know if I want a kid have a kid around while I'm fighting, because he makes combat for a living and he has a kid, so he's already thinking like, I wouldn't want my kid
Yeah.
around. It took a while, I think, for everybody to start seeing the sort of emotional stakes being raised and making all these other aspects of the game more intense because those emotional stakes were raised. I think it's something we didn't realize that we wanted, but now we realize we don't want to do without.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the phrase, it's the perfect game from a lot of different places. And, you know, it's such a weighty phrase, but I mean, come on, it's pretty blooming close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, do you feel good about that, or does that put like a bunch of pressure for the next thing you're going to do?
Which might or might not be God of War 2.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I feel an incredible amount of pressure. You know, nobody expected a lot from us on the first one. They were either surprised that we were making one and then going like, I don't know, hashtag not my God of War.
That happened.
But now, I definitely think we've got a bar that we have to clear if we're going to do something else.
And not only that, but you've almost got, you know, the okay, the green light to try more new things. I mean, doing a game in a single shot, like, sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but you pulled it off.
And Dory, you know, our incredible DP became like a character. And you would think possibly distracting, but no, there was such a reverence. And I just have to acknowledge Sony Santa Monica and this team. I didn't even know. I thought I was just auditioning for Game of Thrones, okay? So I really did. And the speech by Matt and Richard was so brilliant. And you know, it was like coming home and doing this thing in the sacred space with these incredible actors. And then we cut to the wrap party. And I walked in and I saw these brilliant images and this gorgeous lighting and the music. And I started crying because I said, what if I've been involved in this for the past 4 years? I had no idea.
Wow.
So the level of brilliance and the dedication and the sacrifice that all the people at Sony Santa Monica gave is extraordinary. And I think that they should wear that emblem proudly, perfect game, because I believe it is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, obviously it was quite, you know, best game is a pretty hot category. Who would you say was like your biggest competition in that category, do you reckon? Who are you most worried about?
All of
You know,
them.
all of
It
them?
is ridiculous. Yeah, seriously. Every single game that was up for this award was brilliant. Brilliant in so many different ways.
Yeah.
The directors that worked on that, the teams that worked on it, I am huge fan of. So
Did you play any of them? Did you have
all
any
of them.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have time to play about an hour and a half to 2 hours
I mean,
of any
yeah,
game.
you know, but that's fair enough.
Yeah, and then I really don't get to
Got the
play
gist, it's
anything
fine.
else. I wish Red Dead was a little shorter,
I mean, if you're
because I
gonna
really
smash-
want to finish that, but I think at this rate, somewhere in 2030,
Yeah.
I'll be finishing it right about time for the Red Dead 3 to come out. So it's perfect.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much. Congratulations again, and we can't wait
Thank
to
you.
see what you do next.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
It's
so
such
much
an
for
honor.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
guys.
Thank you.